Hi there. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about some intermittent fasting, some of the other great benefits. I've spoken a lot, maybe you've heard, I don't know if you would have heard some of my previous videos this month, but for weight loss, it's fantastic. It's a game changer without a doubt. But there's a lot of other health benefits. And for this reason, many of my clients, myself included, after I lost my weight, continue to do some form of intermittent fasting. And most of my clients do as well, because they feel the difference, right, in terms of their energy and a lot of other areas that they have seen improve. So I'm just going to go through some of those things and why, just as a lifestyle, it's amazing to do as on an ongoing basis. It doesn't mean you're always doing intermittent fasting, but here and there, it's actually very beneficial. So one of the areas in particular is actually for brain health. I know a lot of people, and this has nothing necessarily to do with whether you're overweight or not, but people may notice their brain gets a little foggy and write it off to maybe getting a bit older or whatever. But, being alert and having being able to focus and good memory, for the most part, that doesn't have to be associated with aging. So what happens when you're fasting, when you have a period of time when you're doing some intermittent fasting, your body's using ketones for fuel. Well, when your brain, instead of glucose, your brain's using ketones for fuel, it stimulates what's called brain-derived neurotrophic proteins. That's a big mouthful. It's a type of proteins, BDNF, actually, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, but it's a protein. And when it stimulates that, it actually causes your brain to kind of wake up. It starts working more efficiently. It stimulates neural function. And so that's why a lot of people notice, like in my program, when they're doing intermittent fasting as part of weight loss, they often notice, wow, like they are so much more alert, thinking clearly, remember things, just sharp and on the ball. And of course, losing weight can help with that, and eating well can help with that. But it has been shown through the research the effect this has on the brain. In fact, sometimes intermittent fasting now is being integrated into some programs for dementia. So that's certainly a huge benefit, and that's why many of my clients continue to do some form of intermittent fasting after, they're just maintaining their weight. Some of the other benefits are, and I mentioned this in one of my previous videos, is it does, when you're fasting, actually suppresses appetite because your body has the fuel it needs. So if somebody struggles a little bit with a lot of hunger, well, this is a great way to manage that. And so it's another great, of course that helps with losing weight, but certainly also as a way of helping to keep weight off if you're somebody that kind of has a strong hunger response. It's interesting when people, and I've seen this myself, if I have days when I've been eating more and higher sugar foods and higher carbs in a day or two, whatever, maybe it's a weekend of some celebratory nature, that next day, the Monday, because I typically don't eat breakfast, I do a 16-hour fast, that comes starting 10 in the morning, I'm like, oh, I'm hungry. But I just know it's because my sugar levels have gone up, my insulin levels have been up and down the previous day or two, and so my body's just looking for more glucose. It's like, I would need food, you got to feed the tank. But certainly getting through that one day and then back to normal. It's completely doable in terms of managing not eating in the morning, not eating for 16 hours. The other thing that I would say that from a cellular standpoint, it's like so beneficial, overall health. Again, this gets into like healthy aging. That's why it's such a great strategy to use for weight loss when we're older, but also as a lifestyle. Because when we're in a fasting state, our body, rather than putting energy to dealing with breaking down food and all the stuff it has to do around that, it goes into a restorative mode. And it actually stimulates your immune system to start getting rid of damaged cells. So as we age, we start producing more damaged cells. That is the nature of aging. Well, if our body can get rid of those, that's better, because number one, we're not having to feed those damaged cells, which becomes an energetic drain. But also damaged cells can, we don't want them to transition into cancerous cells. So getting rid of those cells is fantastic. I always call it spring cleanup for the cells. So there's that side of it. But as well, it also stimulates stem cells to produce new healthy cells. So you're kind of getting this regeneration. It's like cleaning out your cupboard, getting rid of the old clothes and bringing the new stuff. It's much more exciting. So that's what you're with the fasting. You're giving your body a break so it can go into this restorative mode. So from an aging standpoint, it's hugely beneficial. Many of my clients will be told, you know, people will see them when they've lost weight. It's not just because they've lost weight, but they'll say that, wow, you look like 10 years younger. What have you done? It's not just, because people can lose a lot of weight, but they can look very gaunt and tired. But they look like their skin's good, they're bright, their eyes are bright. There's this vitality to them. So those are some of the benefits, aside from just the weight loss side of things, which obviously I talk about a lot, because that's what I do with people. But as a lifestyle, intermittent fasting is fantastic. So it's certainly something to look into, even if you don't have a weight issue, like just something as a lifestyle, and read about it and see, you know, and see if you can fit that into your lifestyle and feel great every day. Okay.